Hi, Dirk. Thank you very much for joining me on Connecting Minds. You know, Software AG and DHL have such a long-standing partnership. So, as a leader in the field of logistics, I'm really keen and very excited to discuss with you about the future of logistics. The fact is, the logistics industry has gone through such transformational change. You know, the COVID-19 pandemic has challenged supply chains globally, showing us how fragile these supply chains are or these connections remain. Just-in-time inventory strategies meant shortages of everything, all the way from toilet paper to car supply chains, and only beginning to recover now 15 months later. So I guess, why are supply chains so fragile, and what can be done to make them more resilient?
I believe when the pandemic started, I think the realization is that no one really was prepared for such a global event. Not only the logistics organization, but also people running warehouses or shops and everything else, plus all the regulations that came in very quickly could accommodate the speed of change and find alternative solutions. As DHL Express, we could respond to these challenges because we're controlling our own air fleet, and we could continue to support not only emergency deliveries but also very important deliveries as well. But some logistics chains were broken, as you say, and they are still not fully back. For example, passenger air fleet. They carry an important piece of cargo freight in their bellies, and they're still not fully back, as we all know. And plus other events like harbors were closing, borders were closing, etc., etc. So a lot of organizations took the lessons learned. They're becoming and creating more resilient solutions now, but the learning is no one was really at that point of time 100% prepared.
Oh, thank you. It's really, really good to understand. And of course, with online trading and one-day delivery becoming mainstream, how can logistics companies lower their carbon footprint?
We committed ourselves that by 2050, we're becoming completely zero emission. So that's a very challenging target as we're going through a long part of transformation to get there. However, beginning of this year, the group has decided to invest 7 billion euros into acceleration of investments into that field. And DHL Express, we're making some investments into the first electric cargo freighter that will be launched 2024. It's called Alice, and it will be out there very, very soon. But also areas like sustainable air fuel. I think the industry can do a lot, and we are the pioneers in pushing and working very, very hard to reach our goals.
What can be done to lessen their environmental impact regarding materials usage and to become more sustainable in general?
I think there is a lot of things everybody can do. So we are experiencing, for example, that not all packages are 100% well packaged in a sense that is still carrying a lot of air inside. And if you travel that on an airplane, for example, it's very expensive and not really environmental friendly, right? There's software at the moment created that gives the picker a feedback if it's properly packed or not. So these are some ideas where I think a lot of improvement will happen.
Great, Dirk. Really good to hear technology can be leveraged in these ways. So I guess what are the most pressing issues with de-urbanization, and how do these change the business model for logistics?
Well, COVID has changed a lot. One thing it has changed, and we're still not at the end of the process, is how people are deciding to work. The working from home is for many jobs the new norm. Well, what will be the scenario after COVID? Are people coming back to the office? Will there be part-time models from working more from home, etc.? This has a tremendous impact on how we utilize workspace and living space. What is the answer or the challenge for the logistics industry? And we believe a solution sits in how we manage the last mile. During COVID, everybody who was working from home enjoyed a direct delivery at the same time, and you have maximum customer satisfaction. And we need to be flexible in offering the right solutions for our customers in these flexible models for the future. In Express, we are well equipped for that. The customer has a lot of choices, can change when and how the shipment will be delivered. And I think that's part of the solution for the future.
Thank you so much, Dirk. It was such a pleasure to have this conversation.
Thank you very much. Pleasure being here. Thanks, Sanjay.